the gathering storm. The galaxy was a tapestry of light and shadow, stitched together by civilizations older than the stars themselves. In its farthest reaches, nebulas shimmered like liquid jewels, and massive planets orbited suns that had long since begun to die. It was a vast, magnificent place, yet fragile in its balance. The Galactic Council, a coalition of the most powerful species in existence, had maintained that balance for millennia. And now, a ripple of unease ran through its chambers. The source of this unease was humanity. Humans had always been underestimated. In countless council reports, they were dismissed as a minor, chaotic species, primitive in comparison to the precision of the Zillarites, the telepathic Marathi, or the silicon-born Krillins. Yet, in the last decade, humanity had transformed. Star systems previously deemed uninhabitable now teemed with human colonies, and fleets of human ships, sleek and immense, moved like swarms of silver lightning through the void. At the heart of this transformation was Emperor Kalen Draxier, the ruler of the Terran Ascendancy. He was unlike any human the galaxy had seen before, tall, with eyes that burned with the color of molten amber, and a presence that made the most powerful aliens in the room feel unsteady. To those who had met him, Kalen was calm, deliberate, and terrifyingly intelligent. To those who had only heard of him, he was a myth, a man whispered about in the corridors of the council, a human who dared to rise above his species and challenge the stars themselves. On the bridge of his flagship, the Zenith, Kalen stood alone, gazing at the swirl of stars before him. The ship's hull glowed with the energy of captured suns, and its engines thrummed like a heartbeat. His advisors, the solar sentinels, moved silently around the command deck, their golden armor gleaming under the lights. Each sentinel was chosen not just for skill, but for loyalty that bordered on devotion. "Do you think they are ready?" asked Commander Leora Vera, Kalen's second-in-command. Her voice was calm, but there was a hint of tension, rare for someone so seasoned. Kalen did not turn. "The Council underestimates humanity," he said softly. "They always have. That will be their greatest mistake." He spoke not of conquest but of destiny. Humanity had grown too fast, too brilliantly for anyone to ignore. Kalen's empire stretched across hundreds of star systems, and the innovations of his people, terraforming dead worlds, stabilizing collapsing stars, even manipulating gravity itself, had begun to draw the attention of the Galactic Council. Meanwhile, in the council itself, the air was thick with apprehension. The members had convened on Citadel Arcalis, a sprawling space station suspended above a dying sun. Its towers reached like skeletal fingers toward the blackness of space, and its halls shimmered with alien light. Delegates from across the galaxy had gathered, the crystalline Zillarites, their faceted bodies refracting the sun's rays into dazzling arrays, the amphibious Marathi, whose translucent skin pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, and the telekinetic Krillins, their jagged exoskeletons crackling with raw psychic energy. High Chancellor Vorin, a towering figure whose silver eyes could pierce the deepest secrets of any being, addressed the assembly. "We are on the edge of judgment," he intoned, his voice carrying across the chamber like thunder. "The humans have grown beyond expectation. They claim mastery over creation itself, yet they are untested by time. Shall we allow a species so unproven to join our order, or shall we confront them before their reach becomes unstoppable?" Murmurs of fear and excitement rippled through the council. Some argued for caution while others advocated war. Zyrith, the cunning Zillarite ambassador, hissed through faceted mandibles, "We cannot allow these humans to ascend unchecked. Their ingenuity is dangerous. They bend reality itself to their will. A species like this, left untested, could undo the order of the galaxy." Yet others were intrigued. "Perhaps they are the key to a new era," said Ambassador Morales, an ancient Marathi who had witnessed the birth of stars. "Perhaps they can teach us more than we teach them." Back aboard the Zenith, Kalen received reports of the council's debates. A faint smile curved his lips. "Let them argue," he said. "They are already witnessing the storm of humanity's rise, and it terrifies them." The storm was literal as well as metaphorical. Human fleets, immense and powerful, gathered at the edges of council-controlled space. Ships that could harness stellar energy floated like islands of light, while drones swarmed like metallic shoals, ready to construct, defend, or strike as needed. Kalen walked among his soldiers and they bowed instinctively. Not out of fear but out of respect. This was a leader who inspired awe and loyalty in equal measure. "Emperor," Commander Leora said, stepping beside him, "our scouts report unusual activity near Citadel Arcalis. The Council's defenses are extensive, but they are divided. Some expect diplomacy, Others expect war. Kalen nodded, his amber eyes narrowing. Then we will show them both, he said. Not through destruction but through mastery. Humanity will not fight blindly. We will demonstrate our worth. And when they judge us, they will understand why the universe must bend to human potential. As the zenith moved closer to Citadel Arcalis, the stars themselves seemed to tremble. The council's delegates watched the human fleet approach, their calculations struggling to comprehend the sheer scale of it. Ships that dwarfed entire moons glimmered with the light of captured stars, and yet the humans aboard moved with precision and discipline that no alien race could match. The rumors had been true, humanity was no ordinary species. And at its heart was Kalen Draxier, a man whose ambition reached beyond the limits of ordinary comprehension. He did not seek war but he did not fear it. In his mind, the humans were destined for greatness, and the galaxy would either accept their ascension, or crumble in their wake. Above the swirling void, Kalen raised his hand and whispered almost to himself, "Let them judge us. Let them see what humanity has become. The storm is coming, and it will reshape the galaxy forever." And so, with stars blazing around him and the solar sentinels at his side, Emperor Kalen Draxier prepared to face the Galactic Council. A storm was gathering, not of destruction but of destiny. The galaxy, long ruled by caution and tradition, was about to witness the rise of a species that would challenge everything they thought they knew. Humanity was ready. And Kalen Draxier was ready to ascend. The call to judgment. The Citadel Arcalis loomed like a cathedral of glass and metal against the backdrop of a dying sun. Its towers spiraled outward, reaching toward the void as though they sought to embrace the very cosmos. Inside, the air vibrated with anticipation, a tension that could be felt as much as heard. Delegates from thousands of worlds had gathered, their forms diverse beyond imagination, some gaseous, some crystalline, others barely tangible, existing on frequencies humans could not yet perceive. And all of them whispered about the humans. High Chancellor Vorin stood at the apex of the Grand Chamber, his silver eyes scanning the assembly. His voice carried a weight that silenced murmurs instantly. "We convene on the edge of judgment," he declared. "Humanity has grown too fast, too clever, and their intentions remain uncertain. We must test them. We must know if they are a threat, or an ally in shaping the cosmos." The delegates exchanged uneasy glances. Ambassador Zyratha's faceted body refracted the chamber's light into sharp, threatening patterns. "We do not test potential allies with open dialogue," he hissed. "We test them with consequence. Only then will we know if they are worthy, or dangerous." Amid the deliberations, the massive doors of the chamber opened. A hush fell as a human delegation entered, Emperor Kalen Draxier leading, his golden armor catching the light and reflecting it across the room like sunlight on water. Behind him marched the solar sentinels, their armor humming with stored solar energy, each step resonating with discipline and power. Kalen's presence alone silenced the chamber. No words were spoken, no motion made. He did not bow, nor did he gesture for respect. He simply stood, a figure of calm authority, and the delegates instinctively felt the weight of his gaze. High Chancellor Vorin inclined his head slightly, a gesture of cautious acknowledgement. "Emperor Kalen Draxier," he said, "you come before the Galactic Council to answer for the expansion of your species. The Council must determine if humanity shall remain among us or be contained." Kalen's voice was steady, carrying easily across the chamber. "We do not seek conflict," he said. "We seek recognition. Humanity has not grown to dominate, we have grown to understand. If the Council fears us, it is only because you have yet to see our true potential." A ripple of whispers moved through the delegates. Some were impressed, others skeptical. The humans were bold, yes, but boldness alone did not merit trust. Vorin raised a hand, silencing the murmurs. "Then you shall face the test of worlds. You will demonstrate mastery over creation itself. Terraform barren moons, stabilize dying stars, and show that humanity can shape the galaxy without destroying it. Only then will the Council pass judgment." Kalen inclined his head slightly, accepting the terms. "Very well. We shall demonstrate not only our power but our responsibility. You will see that humanity does not take lightly the stewardship of life." Outside the chamber, the human fleets mobilized. The Zenith led the vanguard, a shimmering island of light against the darkness of space. Ships of every size and shape followed, each designed with human ingenuity in mind, sleek vessels capable of manipulating gravity, deploying shields stronger than any crystal armor, and harvesting energy directly from stars. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, humans worked with precision and efficiency that left even the oldest alien civilizations in awe. On barren worlds, machines sculpted oceans and mountains, seeded atmospheres with life-sustaining gases, and created ecosystems that would have taken natural evolution millions of years to develop. In dying star systems, human scientists stabilized stellar cores, preventing supernovae that might have consumed entire planets. Cities rose in orbit around planets, not resting on surfaces, but floating like islands of civilization in the void. All the while, Kalen observed from the zenith, communicating with his commanders through neural links that allowed instantaneous coordination. Focus on precision, not spectacle, he instructed. We must show mastery, not arrogance. Every move we make is proof that humanity is capable of guiding the stars themselves. In the council, amazement turned to unease. Delegates had never witnessed anything like this. The Moratti ambassador, whose species prided themselves on adaptation, murmured to Morales, "No species could achieve this in such a short cycle unless something beyond normal evolution guides them." Kalen, aware of the council's observation, remained calm. He knew the secret that gave humanity its advantage: the Ascendant Code, a neural network of unprecedented complexity, capable of manipulating physical laws to achieve outcomes once thought impossible. It was not magic and it was not alien technology. It was humanity's ingenuity, elevated to its peak, a reflection of what the species could achieve when united under a single vision. As the weeks passed, the council received continuous reports: barren moons now teeming with life, collapsing stars stabilized, and cities orbiting planets in perfect harmony. Zyrith seethed in frustration, whispering to allies that humanity had cheated, somehow, while others, like Morales, marveled at what humans had accomplished. Finally, the day of judgment arrived. High Chancellor Vorin convened the council once more in the Grand Chamber. Holographic projections displayed the results of humanity's feats, each more astonishing than the last. Delegates gasped at the beauty and precision of human achievement: the oceans perfectly balanced, the skies alive with color, and planets glowing with energy sustained by human innovation. Vorin's voice resonated across the chamber. Humans have met the test. They have demonstrated not only power but responsibility. Yet the question remains: do they understand the consequences of their actions? Do they possess the wisdom to wield such power without succumbing to ambition? Kalen stepped forward. Wisdom is born of experience and experience of action. Humanity has learned through creation, through trials, and through the challenges we face to reach this moment. We understand responsibility because we must live with the results of our choices. We do not conquer lightly. We guide, we protect, and we aspire to ascend together with the galaxy, not to dominate it. A silence fell over the chamber. Every delegate, regardless of species, felt the weight of his words. It was not a plea, it was a statement of fact. Humanity had grown beyond expectation, and its leader spoke with the certainty of one who had already lived the future. The council would deliberate. Decisions that could shape the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. Yet even as they debated, one truth became undeniable: humans were no longer an untested species. They had arrived. And at the center of this arrival stood Emperor Kalen Draxier, calm, resolute, and ready for whatever judgment the council would render. The call to judgment had been answered. The galaxy was watching. And the storm of humanity's rise was only beginning to unfold. The trial of worlds. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Humanity's fleets moved with the precision of a single mind, guided by the vision of Emperor Kalen Draxier. Across countless star systems, the Ascendancy's engineers and scientists carried out the Council's challenge: mastery over creation itself. On Arden V, a moon once considered lifeless, human terraforming crews worked tirelessly. Machines carved rivers into barren rock, seeded the soil with microbial life, and lifted the atmosphere to breathable levels. Mountains rose as if sculpted by unseen hands, while forests spread with a speed that defied natural evolution. Drones shaped oceans, and glowing bioluminescent organisms were introduced to guide nocturnal ecosystems. Within months, Arden V became a jewel of life, a planet that might have taken millennia to form naturally. Kalen observed the progress from the zenith, flanked by his elite command council. Commander Leora Vera stood beside him, her eyes scanning multiple holoscreens simultaneously. "The Zillarite delegation is already questioning if we are bending reality itself," she said. "They refuse to believe natural laws could allow such rapid development." Kalen's amber eyes narrowed. "They do not understand humans yet. They see what we accomplish but they cannot see how we think. Innovation is our true weapon and creativity our shield. Meanwhile, across the void, human scientists worked on stabilizing dying stars. Massive energy conduits were anchored to stellar cores, channels of plasma and gravitational fields carefully balanced to prevent collapse. Ships equipped with quantum resonators circulated around the stars, constantly adjusting energy flows in a delicate ballet. To any observing alien race, it would appear miraculous, but it was careful calculation, human ingenuity amplified by the ascendant code. Yet the test was not only of power, it was of adaptability. One system presented unexpected challenges. A rogue black hole had begun consuming the neighboring star, its gravitational pull threatening multiple inhabited planets. Many species would have retreated in fear. Humans did not. Kalen convened his top strategists in real time across the neural network. "We cannot stabilize the star directly," he said, tracing energy patterns across a holographic display. "We must redirect the black hole's trajectory using gravitational resonance. Every second counts." Commander Leora smiled, a rare glint of excitement in her eyes. "Then we'll dance with the cosmos itself." In hours, human engineers and pilots executed the maneuver with precision. Massive gravity anchors were deployed, tethering the black hole's pull in calculated bursts. It shifted just enough to avoid catastrophic collisions, saving entire civilizations without destroying the star. The Council's observers could hardly believe it. Voron's silver eyes widened in astonishment. "They are not merely powerful, they are adaptive, resilient, and creative beyond measure," he whispered to a nearby delegate. "This is no ordinary species. They are something greater." But admiration did not come without envy. Ambassador Zyrith, the Zillarite, scowled as he watched the humans manipulate cosmic forces. "It is unnatural," he hissed. "No species should have such influence. They must be contained before it is too late." Yet even Zyrith could not deny the evidence. Humanity was shaping worlds, guiding dying stars, and building civilizations in orbit around planets that had been dead for eons. Cities floated like luminous crowns around gas giants, their towers spiraling into the void, their lights reflecting off the surrounding rings. Humans had even designed self-sustaining ecosystems in orbiting habitats, creating entire worlds in miniature. Kalen's true genius, however, remained hidden from all but his closest advisors, the Ascendant Code. This neural network connected humans across fleets and colonies, allowing instant calculation of outcomes, adaptation to unforeseen variables, and optimization of every project. It was not artificial intelligence in the conventional sense, it was evolution accelerated, intelligence distributed across minds, machines, and ships alike. "This is not just science," Kalen said quietly to Leora. "This is humanity proving we are capable of stewardship, not just survival. We are showing the Council that power without wisdom is empty, and that humanity wields both." As the months passed, the human feats continued. Barren moons became forests, dying stars glowed with new energy, rogue comets were redirected to prevent planetary collisions, entire planetary systems were stabilized and restored. Every act was observed by the Council, transmitted in real time to the Grand Chamber on Citadel Arcalis. The results were impossible to ignore. Delegates whispered among themselves in awe and disbelief. Even the most skeptical voices, like Zyrith's, trembled with uncertainty. Could humans truly be trusted with such power? Could a species that had barely touched the stars wield them responsibly? Then came the culmination, a test unlike any other. A cluster of collapsing stars threatened to annihilate an entire sector. Kalen coordinated every ship, every scientist, and every resource. Massive energy conduits were extended across light years, stabilizing the cores with precise resonance pulses. Drones synchronized across the void, adjusting matter flows and gravitational vectors. Time itself seemed to bend as humans orchestrated a cosmic symphony, turning imminent destruction into a spectacle of creation. When the event was complete, silence fell across the galaxy. Not a single system had been lost. Not a single civilization erased. And in the council chambers, even the most skeptical delegates could not suppress their astonishment. High Chancellor Voron rose slowly, his voice trembling slightly. "The humans have not only met the challenge. They have transcended it. Every system we feared would fall now thrives under their guidance. Every dying star now burns steadily once more. This is unprecedented." Kalen stepped forward aboard the Zenith, his presence calm and commanding. "We have done as you requested," he said. "But this is only the beginning. Humanity does not act out of conquest or desire for dominion. We act because we must rise, not to rule the galaxy but to guide it alongside you. The potential of the stars belongs to all who wish to reach them, but only if they act with wisdom and responsibility. The council deliberated, but even in silence, one truth was clear: humans were no longer an untested species. They had shown not only power but adaptability, intelligence, and a sense of responsibility that few could match. Kalen had not merely led them, he had elevated the entire species. And as the zenith drifted silently among stabilized stars, Kalen looked out at the galaxy with amber eyes that reflected countless suns. "Let them judge us," he whispered. "They will see what humans can achieve, and they will have no choice but to recognize our ascension." The trial of worlds had ended. But the final judgment, the verdict that would decide humanity's place in the galaxy, was still to come. The betrayal among stars. Even as humanity's achievements reshaped the galaxy, not all eyes watched in admiration. In the grand chambers of Citadel Arcalis, whispers of conspiracy had taken root. Ambassador Xyrith, the cunning Zillarite, seethed in resentment. Humanity had surpassed every expectation, turning barren moons into thriving worlds and stabilizing stars that had been deemed lost. Such power in his eyes was dangerous. "The humans must be tested in a way they cannot predict," Xyrith hissed to a select group of allies, his faceted body refracting the dying sun's light into jagged patterns. "If they think the council has accepted them, they will become complacent. We will strike, and the galaxy will finally see their true vulnerability." Unbeknownst to Kalen Draxier, Xyrith had spent weeks infiltrating the council's psychic networks. Zillarite telepathy was subtle and insidious, capable of sowing chaos without leaving a trace. On a quiet morning aboard Citadel Arcalis, Xyrith unleashed a psychic assault, targeting key council members and attempting to manipulate their minds. The chamber erupted into confusion as delegates faltered, visions of false threats clouding their judgment. But humans were never unprepared. Kalen had anticipated treachery. While he had allowed the council to believe they were observing humanity's feats, he had secretly monitored every network in the vicinity, reading patterns and predicting outcomes with the precision of a chess master. "Ambush detected," said Commander Leora Vera, her calm voice carrying through the neural link. "Xyrith's signature is subtle, but it's there. He's trying to destabilize the council from within." Kalen's amber eyes narrowed. "Then we remove the threat, quietly." Without hesitation, the solar sentinels mobilized. Ships detached from the zenith, moving with precision to intercept any attempts to manipulate or disrupt human operations. The sentinels' technology could shield against psychic intrusion, turning the council's own networks into safe zones. It was a defensive masterpiece, executed with the elegance of a well-rehearsed dance. Meanwhile, Kalen reached out through the Ascendant Code, connecting to every human operative in the system. "Contain the breach without harming the council," he instructed. "They must see that humanity protects life, even against treachery." On the floor of the Grand Chamber, delegates suddenly felt a strange clarity. The illusions planted by Xyrith dissolved, leaving them disoriented but unharmed. Hollow projections flickered back into stability. Even the most sensitive telepaths who had been assaulted by the Zillarite's manipulations found themselves free of interference. Xyrith, realizing his plan had failed, hissed in frustration. His attempts to undermine humanity had been not only anticipated but neutralized with minimal collateral impact. The humans had acted decisively yet without unnecessary aggression, a testament to their discipline and foresight. Kalen spoke then, his voice resonant across the council chamber. "Ambassador Xyrith," he said calmly, "attempts at deception will not sway us. Humanity does not seek to dominate but to guide responsibly. Those who attempt treachery will face consequences. Yet we extend the opportunity to choose restraint over conflict." The words were a shock. Most species would have responded to betrayal with vengeance, yet Kalen's choice demonstrated a level of wisdom that few had witnessed in any species. Council delegates exchanged glances, some with admiration, some with disbelief. Xyrith's scheming did not go entirely unpunished. The council quietly sanctioned him, limiting his influence and isolating his communications. The Zillarite ambassador seethed, but even he had to acknowledge one undeniable truth: humans had proven their superiority not just through power, but through judgment and restraint. Meanwhile, Kalen turned his attention back to the larger mission. The trial of worlds had succeeded, but now the focus shifted toward diplomacy, perception, and the final judgment that would determine humanity's place among the stars. His eyes scanned the council, noting subtle shifts in attitude. Skepticism softened, Envy cooled and curiosity burned brighter than ever. Commander Leora approached, her voice measured. They are beginning to see us as more than conquerors. Even Xyretha's failure highlights our reliability. Kalen nodded. Yes. Humans do not conquer through fear. We rise through action, foresight, and wisdom. Let this be our message. Humanity will protect, create, and ascend, not merely survive. Outside the citadel, human fleets continued to shine like constellations in motion. Ships patrolled sectors with precision, ensuring that no threat, internal or external, could compromise the work humanity had done. Every move demonstrated both strength and restraint, a duality that fascinated and unsettled alien observers. The betrayal among stars had served a purpose that even Xyreth could not anticipate. It revealed humanity's capacity for vigilance, intelligence, and moral authority. They had faced treachery not with blind aggression, but with calculated control, proving they were ready not just to exist among the stars, but to shape their destiny. Kalen walked to the observation deck of the Zenith, looking out at the galaxy he had sworn to guide. The storm we warned them of has arrived, he said quietly. But it is not a storm of destruction, it is a storm of ascension. Humanity has shown what we can do when united. The Council will judge us soon, but they cannot deny what they have witnessed. Leora stood beside him, watching fleets move like living threads across the void. Do you think they will accept us? She asked. Kalen's eyes reflected the light of distant suns. They will have no choice. Humans have proven themselves. Not through intimidation but through vision, skill, and wisdom. The galaxy has seen the truth. And the era of humanity is about to begin. The betrayal among stars had passed, leaving the galaxy in awe, the Council in shock, and humanity poised on the precipice of its greatest triumph. The final judgment awaited, but Kalen Draxier and his people were ready. Humanity's ascension was not a promise, it was a certainty. The declaration of divinity. The grand chamber of Citadel Arcalis was filled with a tense, expectant silence. Delegates from thousands of worlds gathered, their forms reflecting every imaginable shape and hue, crystalline zillarites refracting light into dazzling patterns, the bioluminescent Marathi pulsating nervously, and the jagged Krillins shifting uneasily in the shadows. All waited to see what the humans would do next. In the center of the chamber, Kalen Draxier stepped forward. His golden armor gleamed under the ambient light, but it was not the armor that commanded attention. It was the presence, the calm certainty of a species that had mastered both power and responsibility. Around him, the solar sentinels stood like pillars of light, silent and immovable. High Chancellor Vorin rose from his seat, his silver eyes reflecting the gravity of the moment. Emperor Kalen Draxier, he said, humanity has faced the trial of worlds. You have terraformed moons, stabilized dying stars, and orchestrated cosmic events with precision none thought possible. You have demonstrated power, yet the Council must determine if you possess wisdom. Speak now. Show us the mind of your species. Kalen's voice resonated through the chamber, steady and compelling. We have done as you requested, he began, but the true question is not whether humans are capable of wielding power. The question is whether any species can be entrusted with the stewardship of life, of worlds, of the very stars themselves. Humanity does not seek conquest. We do not dominate. We guide, we protect, and we create. Every action we take is a choice, a responsibility. A murmur ran through the chamber. Some delegates nodded in awe, others leaned forward, skeptical yet captivated. Kalen continued. The galaxy is vast yet fragile. Civilizations rise and fall, often destroyed by their own ambition or fear. Humanity has seen this and we have chosen a different path. We act with vision, foresight, and unity. We elevate life rather than consume it. Our strength is not only in our technology but in our spirit, the capacity to adapt, to overcome, to understand consequences before they arrive. He paused, letting the words settle. The chamber was silent except for the quiet hum of alien life forms adjusting to the weight of his speech. Then, slowly, Kalen extended his hand, not in threat but in invitation. Look upon humanity not as a threat but as a partner. Look upon our empire not as conquerors, but as stewards of potential. We do not seek dominion. We seek ascension, an elevation of all species toward knowledge, growth, and the responsible use of power. Let the galaxy judge us not by fear, but by the proof of our deeds. From the galleries above, the Council watched holographic projections of human achievement. Moons blooming with forests and oceans, stars burning steadily instead of collapsing, orbital cities shining like crowns around gas giants. Every delegate could see that the humans had not only met the challenge, they had transcended it. Even Ambassador Zyrith, who had plotted treachery, could not hide his awe. He hissed in disbelief, the facets of his crystalline body catching the light like fractured suns. Impossible, no species could do this unless they were more than what they seem. Kalen did not flinch. We are not more than what we are, he said quietly, but we are the culmination of what humanity can achieve when united in purpose, guided by reason and restrained by responsibility. This is our nature. This is our gift. And this is our promise to the galaxy. A silence filled the chamber, heavy with the weight of realization. For the first time in centuries, the Council was confronted not with a species seeking dominance, but with one demonstrating mastery tempered by wisdom. They had witnessed not just power but moral clarity, an alignment of intellect, creativity, and restraint that no other civilization had achieved. High Chancellor Voron's voice finally broke the silence. Emperor Kalen Draxier, humans have not merely passed the trial of worlds. They have redefined it. They have shown the galaxy what a species can accomplish when intelligence and morality are combined. Perhaps, it is time we recognized not just their capabilities but their ascension. Kalen inclined his head respectfully, though inside he felt the weight of centuries of human potential finally acknowledged. Around him, the solar sentinels remained vigilant, yet even they sensed the shift in the galaxy's perception. Then a ripple of realization spread through the chamber. Other delegates began to see the humans not as equals or threats, but as something extraordinary, pioneers of cosmic potential. Humanity had demonstrated that a species could rise above survival instincts, fear and tribal ambition, and instead act with foresight, responsibility, and vision. Kalen stepped back slightly, letting the moment breathe. The ascension of humanity is not the end of conflict, nor the completion of growth, he said. It is a beginning. A beginning for all who choose to reach beyond fear, beyond limitation, and toward a shared destiny among the stars. Humanity stands ready to guide, to protect, and to grow with every civilization willing to embrace responsibility and potential. Murmurs turned to applause, or the alien equivalent thereof. The chamber vibrated with energy as delegates, one by one, began to nod in recognition. The Marathi ambassador, eyes glowing with admiration, whispered to Morales, "They are gods among us." Kalen did not claim divinity, yet the aura of his presence could not be denied. He was the embodiment of humanity's potential, the symbol of its unity, wisdom, and creativity. For the first time, the galaxy saw a human not merely as a species among many, but as a standard-bearer, a living proof of what life could achieve when guided by intellect and conscience. High Chancellor Voron rose once more. Let it be recorded, Emperor Kalen Draxier and the Terran Ascendancy have demonstrated mastery, wisdom, and restraint. They are recognized not merely as participants in the galaxy's affairs, but as exemplars of potential. Humanity shall remain among the stars, and its path shall be one of guidance, ascension, and unity. Kalen's eyes reflected the light of distant stars, his calm demeanor betraying nothing of the magnitude of the moment. "Thank you," he said simply. "The galaxy will see that humanity seeks not dominion but destiny. And we shall prove worthy of it." As the council erupted in deliberation and acknowledgement, Kalen turned to Commander Leora. "This is only the beginning," he said. "The council may recognize us, but the universe is vast, and the true test of humanity's wisdom has only just begun." Outside Citadel Arcalis, the human fleets glowed like a constellation of hope, proof that a species once underestimated had now earned its place among the stars. The declaration of divinity was complete, and the galaxy would never view humanity the same way again. The age of humanity had begun. The Council's final judgment. The grand chamber of Citadel Arcalis buzzed with tension, a low hum of anticipation that seemed to vibrate through the very walls. Delegates from thousands of worlds had gathered, their forms shimmering in the alien light, crystalline Zillarites, bioluminescent Marathi, towering Krillins, and countless others whose appearances defied simple description. Every eye, every sensory organ, was turned toward the human delegation at the chamber's center. At the heart of it all stood Emperor Kalen Draxier, calm, composed, his golden armor gleaming like molten sunlight. Around him, the solar sentinels remained poised, silent guardians of humanity's will. Yet Kalen's attention was not on the armor, nor on the immense fleet waiting outside. It was on the judgment that would decide the fate of his species. High Chancellor Voron rose, his silver eyes sweeping the chamber. "The Galactic Council has observed, deliberated, and witnessed the feats of humanity," he intoned. Their achievements are beyond any previously recorded in our history. Yet, power alone does not grant legitimacy. The Council must decide, will humanity remain among us as equals, as partners, or shall they be limited in their reach? Silence filled the chamber. Even the most skeptical delegates, including the resentful Zillarite ambassador Zyrith, could not deny the undeniable. Humans had reshaped worlds, stabilized dying stars, and orchestrated cosmic events with a mastery that rivaled millennia of alien knowledge. Kalen stepped forward, his voice steady but resonant. We have demonstrated not only capability but responsibility, he said. We have faced challenges designed to test our wisdom, and we have responded not with aggression but with foresight. Humanity does not seek to dominate. We seek to guide, to protect, and to elevate life wherever it exists. Vorin raised his hand, and the chamber's holoprojections displayed humanity's achievements in stunning detail. Barren moons now teemed with forests and oceans, stars that teetered on the edge of collapse burned steadily once more. Orbiting cities shone like crowns around planets, symbols of life thriving in harmony with technology. Delegates murmured. The Morati ambassador, Morales, whispered to a colleague, "They are extraordinary. More than a species, they are a force for creation itself." Even Zyrith, his crystalline form refracting the light into harsh angles, could not hide his awe. They have outstripped reason itself, he admitted, though his voice was laced with frustration. This should not be possible. High Chancellor Vorin's gaze softened slightly as he addressed the assembly. The question is not whether humans can achieve these feats, they have proven this beyond doubt. The question is whether they will act with the prudence required to wield such power. Kalen's voice, unwavering, answered before he spoke. We have acted with prudence and we will continue to do so. Power without restraint is meaningless. Humanity does not seek to dominate through fear or force. We seek ascension through responsibility, wisdom, and unity. This is the legacy we offer to the galaxy, and the path we invite all species to walk alongside us. A hush fell over the chamber. It was not just a speech, it was a declaration, a covenant. The delegates could sense the weight behind the words. Kalen did not merely command his fleet, he commanded the collective potential of his entire species. Humanity was no longer a fledgling civilization, they were an ascendant force, tempered by wisdom and guided by vision. Finally, Vorin's voice broke the silence. The Galactic Council recognizes that humanity has not only passed the trial of worlds but has transcended it. They have demonstrated power tempered with responsibility, creativity matched with foresight, and ambition balanced by moral clarity. Humanity is hereby recognized as a sovereign member of the Galactic Order. Their empire shall remain free to expand, not as conquerors, but as exemplars of potential and stewardship. A ripple of astonishment spread through the chamber. Delegates whispered, some in disbelief, some in admiration. Humans had not only met the Council's demands, they had rewritten the standards by which all civilizations would now be measured. Vorin paused, letting the declaration sink in. Then he looked directly at Kalen. Emperor Kalen Draxier, your leadership has elevated humanity to this recognition. In the eyes of the Council, you are not merely a ruler, you are an ascendant. A god-king in the truest sense, a being who guides with wisdom, inspires with vision, and shapes destiny without tyranny. The galaxy will remember this day. Kalen's expression remained calm, but a faint smile touched his lips. He bowed slightly, not in submission, but in acknowledgement of the immense responsibility now placed upon him. Thank you, High Chancellor, he said. Humanity has always strived for more than survival. We have sought understanding, mastery, and unity. Today the Council has judged us not by fear, but by the proof of our deeds. We shall honor that trust and we shall rise, not for dominion but for ascension. From the galleries, alien delegates began to stand, offering gestures of respect that were uniquely their own. Some bent low, others extended limbs in recognition. The chamber vibrated with energy, the acknowledgement of a species that had exceeded all expectations. Even Zyrith, the most resistant voice in the chamber, could not conceal the grudging respect forming within him. He hissed softly, they are more than we imagined. Kalen turned to Commander Leora Vera, who stood beside the Solar Sentinels. The Council has judged, he said quietly. But judgment alone does not shape the future. Our actions will. Humanity has the power and the responsibility to lead, and we will do so wisely. Outside Citadel Arcalis, the human fleets gleamed like constellations in motion. Across the galaxy, news of the Council's decision rippled like solar winds. Systems that had once doubted humanity now looked upon them with awe and expectation. Humanity was no longer merely a rising power, it was a beacon of potential, a standard against which all civilizations would measure themselves. Kalen stood on the observation deck of the zenith, gazing at the stars that stretched infinitely before him. "The galaxy has spoken," he said. "We are recognized. But recognition is only the beginning. Humanity must prove itself through action, wisdom, and guidance. The ascension is not a title, it is a path. And we will walk it with vigilance and purpose." The Council's final judgment had been delivered. The verdict was clear. Humanity had passed the ultimate test, not through aggression or domination, but through ingenuity, discipline, and moral clarity. And at the center of this triumph stood Emperor Kalen Draxier, the first human god king, a symbol of what a species could achieve when united by vision and tempered by responsibility. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity's era had truly begun. Ascension and new horizons. The galaxy had changed. Humanity was no longer a species whispered about in speculation or dismissed as a chaotic upstart. Humanity was a beacon, a standard of ingenuity, discipline, and moral clarity. Across countless star systems, colonies thrived under the guidance of Emperor Kalen Draxier and his vision for a united, enlightened galaxy. Aboard his flagship, the Zenith, Kalen stood on the observation deck, gazing at the stars that stretched endlessly before him. Planets once barren now shimmered with life, orbiting stars that burned steadily thanks to human ingenuity. Entire sectors had been stabilized, civilizations nurtured, and cosmic catastrophes averted. Humanity had proven itself, not by domination, but by creation and protection. Beside him, Commander Leora Vera observed the fleets patrolling the systems. "They've accepted us," she said quietly. "The Council, the delegates, even Zyrith. They may not like it, but they respect it." Kalen nodded, amber eyes reflecting distant suns. "Respect is earned, not demanded. We have shown that humanity does not conquer blindly, and that our power is tempered with responsibility. But this is only the beginning. Recognition is one thing, stewardship is another." Outside, the human fleets glimmered like constellations, the solar sentinels standing as vigilant guardians of peace and progress. Ships moved in perfect harmony, not as a display of military might, but as a demonstration of precision, unity, and capability. Every vessel represented not just technology, but a philosophy, that humanity's strength lay in intelligence, creativity, and foresight. In the Citadel Arcalis, the Galactic Council convened once more. This time, their deliberations were not tense, nor were they filled with doubt. They watched as humanity coordinated sectors with efficiency, balanced interstellar resources, and stabilized systems that had once been on the brink of collapse. The evidence of humanity's ascension was undeniable. High Chancellor Vorin addressed the assembly. "The humans have passed every trial, faced every challenge, and shown themselves capable not merely of survival but of leadership. The galaxy has witnessed their rise. Let it also witness their ongoing commitment to wisdom, protection, and unity." Ambassador Morales of the Marathi added, voice glowing softly in admiration, "Humans are not just participants in galactic affairs. They are exemplars of potential, a species that shows what is possible when intellect and conscience guide action." Even Ambassador Zyrith, the once distrustful Zillarite, had a begrudging respect. "They have risen beyond all expectation," he admitted. "Perhaps, humanity is a species we should study, not fear." Kalen stepped forward before the council, not to make a speech, but to demonstrate leadership through vision. "The recognition of humanity is not the apex of achievement," he said. "It is the beginning of a responsibility we will carry with humility and vigilance. We do not seek to dominate the galaxy. We seek to elevate it, to nurture life, to guide civilizations toward stability and progress." A ripple of understanding moved through the chamber. Humans had transformed the abstract concept of power into something tangible yet restrained. They had shown that ascension was not about conquest, but about stewardship, an idea that would resonate across the stars for generations. Meanwhile, Kalen's eyes returned to the view outside the zenith. Beyond the fleets and colonies lay endless opportunities, unexplored systems, uncharted civilizations, and cosmic phenomena that even humans had not yet fathomed. Each star held potential, each planet held life waiting to be understood and nurtured. He turned to Leora, who had always been at his side. "The galaxy is vast," he said. "Recognition by the Council is only a milestone. Our true test is what comes next, guiding this expansion responsibly, ensuring that every world we touch grows stronger without fear or oppression." Leora nodded. And humanity is ready for it. We've proven we can rise beyond instinct, beyond aggression, beyond fear. Now we show the galaxy that we can lead with wisdom as well as power. Kalen allowed himself a rare, faint smile. Yes, humanity is ready. And the stars will remember this. Across the galaxy, messages spread. The Terran ascendancy had been recognized by the Galactic Council. Humanity was no longer a fledgling species. It was a force for creation, unity, and enlightenment. Planets celebrated quietly, colonies thrived, and civilizations once skeptical now looked to humanity as a standard of hope and possibility. In the deep void of space, human scientists continued their work, stabilizing distant stars, exploring uncharted systems, and seeding life in worlds untouched by evolution. Every accomplishment reinforced the message: humanity's rise was not reckless ambition. It was deliberate, thoughtful, and guided by moral clarity. Kalen stood again at the observation deck, the galaxy stretching infinitely before him. He raised a hand, almost imperceptibly, as if signaling to every star, every fleet, every life form under human stewardship. The galaxy has judged humanity, he said softly. And the verdict is not fear, not envy, but respect. We have ascended, not through domination but through wisdom, responsibility, and vision. And this is only the beginning. As the human fleets moved forward, leading civilizations into new horizons, Kalen reflected on the journey. From a species underestimated and dismissed, humanity had risen to a place of influence and honor. From chaos and survival instincts, they had achieved clarity and purpose. And at the heart of it all, Kalen Draxier, the God King, stood as both a symbol and a guide, a living testament to the potential of a united species. The stars ahead were infinite, and the challenges yet to come were vast. But for the first time, humanity faced the future not as uncertain wanderers, but as architects of destiny. The age of humanity had begun, and under Kalen's leadership the galaxy would never be the same. The ascension was complete, and the horizon was limitless.